right, folks, we are back here on WLTH 1370 AM, the region's choice, the people's voice. You can also listen to us on 92.7 FM and on Facebook at WLTH Radio, or just go to the website WLTH Radio and see what listening option is best for you. They're all pretty good. This week, U.S. basketball star Brittney Griner was convicted in Russia of drug possession and smuggling and was sentenced to 9 years behind bars in a politically charged case that could lead to a high-stakes prisoner exchange between Washington and Moscow. The 31-year-old Griner, a two-time U.S. Olympic champion and 8-time NBA All-Star, WNBA All-Star with the Phoenix Mercury, listened with blank expression as an interpreter translated the verdict by Judge Anna Saltnikova, but her lawyers later said she was very upset. Griner was also fined 1 million rubles, which translates to about $16,700. U.S. President Joe Biden denounced the verdict as unacceptable, which came amid soaring tensions between the U.S. and Russia over Ukraine. Outside of the court, the U.S. Embassy charged d'Affaires Elizabeth Rood called the outcome a miscarriage of justice. Now, Griner, who is recognized as one of the greatest players in WNBA history, has been detained since February 17th after police said they found vape cartridges containing cannabis oil in her luggage upon landing at Moscow's Sheremetyevo airport. She was returning to Russia, where she has competed since 2014. The 9-year sentence was close to the maximum of 10 years that Griner had faced under the charges. Most Russians possessing small quantities of drugs get at most 5 years in prison, lawyers said. Her defense attorney, Maria Blagovolina, told reporters later that Griner was very upset, very stressed. She can hardly talk, and it's a very difficult time for her. Before the unusually swift verdict was reached, an emotional Griner apologized to her family, teammates, and the Russian city of Ekaterinburg, where she plays in the WNBA offseason, for her mistake that she made and the embarrassment that she brought on them. With her voice cracking, she added, "I hope in your ruling it does not end my life." Wow, that's sad. Griner has 10 days to appeal, and her lawyers say they expect a hearing in Moscow Regional Court next week. When they were asked if Griner could ask for a pardon from President Vladimir Putin, Blagovolina said they would consider every possibility, but the lawyers said that they were not part of any discussions about a prisoner swap. Now, Griner's agent, Lindsay Kagawa-Kolis, said that the sentence was severe by Russian legal standards and goes to prove what we have known all along, that Brittney is being used as a political pawn. A conviction is usually needed before arranging a prisoner exchange and also allows Griner to apply for a pardon. Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov, you got to forgive me, these Russian names are hard for me, said last month that the necessary judicial procedures must be completed before other steps can be taken. So, look, this is a very, very, very unfortunate situation, folks. It really is. And I feel terrible for Brittney. It is very sad that she's going through what she is going through. I feel for her. But I must say, once again, Americans, when you in other people's countries, you are food for them. Okay? That's the crooks. That's the cops. That's everybody. You are food when you're in somebody else's country. It is that simple. Okay? You have to keep your head on a swivel, especially if you are black. I can't imagine why a black woman would not be more vigilant in how she's doing things in some foreign country. I know she had played there since 2014. Maybe she got a little bit relaxed, thinking I'm a basketball star. They won't look at me, they won't check my bag. They won't check my luggage. I'm a star here. Look, you're a foreigner in someone else's country. That's what you are. You're an American in someone else's country, a country with hostile relations with America. That's what you are. And also, how do you like this hypocrisy from Americans talking about this? Joe Biden, a man whose kids themselves have snorted up half of Bolivia and are committing crimes daily, while at the same time, this is a man who himself said that everybody who uses drugs need to be thrown in prison alongside with the drug dealers, because you can't have drug dealers without drug users. This is a man who wrote the crime bill that is one of the main reasons that America has a quarter of the world's prison populations. And yet, Joe Biden has the nerve to be indignant about somebody being put in prison for drugs unjustly? Kamala Harris, the former Attorney General of California, a woman who laughed about putting over 1,000 people in prison for marijuana? Really? This is the effectiveness of U.S. propaganda in our media. This is why I come on here weekly and I trash the corporate liberal media. Every single week I do, because this is what's wrong with them. This is propaganda. They talk about Russian propaganda. Russian propaganda ain't got nothing on U.S. government propaganda. So let's kick some facts to the public, okay? An estimated 40,000 people today are incarcerated in America for marijuana use, according to Forbes. Weldon Angelos, the co-founder and president of Project Mission Green, right? This was a guy who used to be a producer who worked with Snoop Dogg and Tupac's group, the Outlaws, and other groups in hip-hop. He was arrested for 3 counts of selling marijuana totaling $900. He was sentenced to 55 years in federal prison. This man spent well over a decade in prison before he was pardoned by Barack Obama. Four in 10 U.S. drug arrests in 2018 were for marijuana offenses, mostly possession. In Mississippi, their Supreme Court just upheld a life sentence for weed conviction for a man named Russell Allen, a black man who was found guilty in 2019 in being in possession of less than 2.5 ounces of weed. So for less than 2.5 ounces of weed, Russell Allen will spend the rest of his life in a Mississippi prison. Think about that, folks. And these are the same people who have the nerve to be indignant about Brittney Griner getting 9 years in prison for a vape pen. When we got people doing life sentences, we got brothers serving decades in prison over cannabis in this country. This is a country that just show you it's not just about black people. This is a country that put Tommy Chong from Cheech and Chong in prison for years for selling bongs. He didn't even sell the drugs, just the pipes to smoke them, and he got years in prison. But yes, let's pretend that Russia's the only place that locks people up for drugs. All right. Oh, before I get out of here, let me talk about another victim of America's horrifically cruel and unusual prison system. Rest in peace to Albert Woodfox, a member of the Angola Three, who were wrongfully convicted of a 1972 murder of a Louisiana prison guard. This is a man who is believed to have been the person in the world held in solitary confinement for the longest amount of time. The American prison system made this man stay in a 6x9 cell in solitary confinement for 43 years. 43 years this man sat in solitary confinement for a crime he did not even commit, because he was a Black Panther and because he was a black man in America. He was released from prison in 2016 and just died of COVID-19 at the age of 75. Rest in peace to Albert Woodfox. And with that, folks, I got to get out of here. You can